George Kell Motor Company player of the game, and it's Clemmy Alcorn. And Clemmy, outstanding effort tonight, a pick six just all over the field. We'll talk a little bit about the hip also, but first of all, big victory for the Hounds. Talk a little bit about the game in general.
I mean, we came in prepared to win. I mean, they held Osceola 12-12 at half, and everybody's talking that Osceola's better than us. I promise you they're not. So, Coach said, we're done with that humble. We're going to come out. We're going to win.
Well, we were up 42-8 at the half, and I'm sure Coach said we're going to try to rest some guys at the half. But our offense in the first half, and I don't have the statistics in front of me, we had one play in the first quarter is all we had. Those guys just took the football and they wouldn't give it to us. They only scored 7, or I guess they got 8. But we had one play in the first quarter, and that's unusual for our offense. Talk a little bit about our defense, because when we needed to make a stop, again, defensively, we're pretty good there.
Yes, sir. Our defense, we've been calling Mad Dogs for a reason. Coach gave us that name for a simple reason, because it's been passed down through history. Mad Dogs are true Greyhounds. They're coming to hit. They're bringing the hat every time. They're
bringing the hat. There's no doubt about it. I did hear Coach Hinsley say, and you can talk a little bit about what he talked about. He said, this is what we play for, what's coming up next week.
Oh, yes. We've been preparing for this since last spring. Last year, we had a bitter taste in our mouth after losing, because we hadn't beat them in, 2 years?
That's correct.
And me personally, we never beat them. In junior high, we tied it up 14-14. So this year, we're coming for revenge.
Well, we got to go over there, and we want to savor the taste of this big victory tonight. Even though it ended up 49-30, it wasn't that close at 42-8 at the half.
Lucky.
Yeah. And here's the deal. It's all about preparation. Talk about preparation coming up. What's it going to be like? It's going to be a little bit different maybe this week. Talk a little bit about preparation.
Preparation this week, there's going to be no plan. We're going to stay longer days. Sometimes we might end up staying at nighttime just to practice, get a game feel of it.
Well, a little focus coming up, and there's no doubt those guys will keep y'all humbled. And we have a football team good enough to go to Osceola and win a football game, and I'm certainly that's the plan. But I do have to ask you this. When you got the pick six tonight, I mean, did that ball just stick in your hands? I mean, your hands were just solid. It's like you had glue on your hands. Obviously, you read it well.
Oh, yeah. It was all instinct. I was actually told to go on a blitz, but I seen the quarterback drop back, and I'm like, I see this slant out the corner of my eye. I'm going to drop back a little bit, and it just came straight to me. I'm a ball magnet.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you mentioned before we got on the air here, you had mentioned something about a hip, and you went out of the ball game for a little bit. Talk about the hip.
That man was soft. He seen me going down, so he took his cheap shot. End of the story. End of the story. I've been in his face the whole night.
Is that right?
He just wanted his league back.
Hey, you're a senior. This is your last opportunity for a playoff run. I mean, you seniors, you get together, and I wish you the best of luck. It's Greyhound tradition to get in those playoffs, and we always talk about we're in the playoffs, but boy, we'd like to go in as a conference champion. And good luck to you this coming Friday night, Clemmy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Clemmy Alcorn, who had a fantastic night. He's had a fantastic first 9 games, and let's hope next week that he might be again the George Kell Motor Company player of the game. Well, it's Mark Hinsley, and y'all know him. He's the head football coach, and he's 1-0 this week as his football team whips up on the Piggott Mohawks by the score of 49-30. It wasn't quite that close, Coach, but boy, from 8-7 to 42-8 in a matter of a 10-minute span. I mean, we just turned it on.
It felt like the first quarter was, I don't know, like, we just defense the whole time.
Well, we had one play.
We had one play
offensively as a touchdown.
And then the second quarter just felt like it was just score at will. So, yeah, it was an interesting game. Believe it or not, the score doesn't really reflect the how I thought we dominated. So, but it's just part of the game.
Yeah, it's a victory, and it's what we tried to do this week. And we treasure the victory. We beat Piggott here tonight. But in all fairness, Coach, when you lose last year at Osceola, for the conference championship, of course, we still got to play in the playoffs, and even Clemmy said it. Since that time, and you knew that schedule coming up, you look forward to that rematch with Osceola.
Yeah.
That's just, there's no doubt. You circle that game on your schedule and you say, this is the one game that we hope we're good enough.
Yeah.
We hope we're good enough, and the Hounds are good enough. We're there. That time is there. We want to be 1-0 next week. We're going to Osceola. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, in a weird way, even though McGee put us out last year, that game still wasn't in my mind because I didn't know we were going to play McGee or if we're going to get a chance to play McGee again this year. I knew we were going to play Osceola.
Right.
And I sold it to him during the spring, during the off season, during the summer. Everything was about Osceola.
Absolutely.
Because in my mind, if you get to the point we're at right now, this very point that we're at right now, and it's like I told the kids, this is the start of playoffs for me.
Sure.
And everything that we have done, everything that they have worked for, the seniors especially here on senior night, everything is about this game coming up. So if they're going to be the best they can be, do more, whatever they can, this is the week to do it, because this week is all about the start of playoffs to us,
right?
Because this week can set us up for where we want to go. So it's everything. I mean, it really is, and I've tried not to talk about it in my little small circle. I do.
Sure.
That's just the human in me, but
absolutely.
Everything from last year to now in the back of my mind has been Osceola.
Well, and those of us who have been around the game a long time and who love the game and know the high school, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, we don't get on the air and say, boy, I'm really looking forward to the Osceola game. But you know what? I'll say it now. I've been really looking forward to the Osceola game.
I have. Just because the build-up.
Sure.
The build-up last year, the history, the build-up from this year. And they're a tremendous football team. I mean, I just know they are.
No doubt.
But, to get where we want to go and what these kids told me they want to go, it goes through Osceola.
Absolutely it does.
At Osceola. So, everything that we have done, everything that we have tried to be is about this game. And that's what I've been talking about for the last 3 weeks, is about those edges and how we played. To me, it's not the scoreboard necessarily, as weird as that sounds. It's about what we're doing to get ready for this week coming up. So it's everything.
Well, it's been a huge football game for the Osceola Seminoles and the Newport Greyhounds for many years. I mean, boy, back in the 90s, we had some great battles. Coach Bill Keady was here and Coach Clinton Gore over there. Just some tremendous battles. And, I mean, one of the greatest football games we ever called was over at Osceola, and I think it was like in 90, maybe 92. We called on the radio 0-0 at the half and ended up like 33-32.
Yeah.
It was 0-0 at the half. But, I mean, the Chico Fletcher and the Jonathan Adams in those days. But and then I think about the Victor Hendersons and the Renard Robinsons and the Timmy Browns and I mean, just lots of guys from Newport and lots of guys from Osceola understand when Newport and Osceola get together what that game means. And it does mean a lot.
It does. And even though that was so long ago to these guys, they still know, and not just because we just now got back in the conference with them the last few years, they just know that history. And this game is that special. And when it's in a situation like we're currently in, for a conference title, for the number 1 seed, for the first round bye, it's everything. I mean, it really is. And
it's huge.
I can't say how big a game it is, and I just hope the kids understand how big it is, but what it is,
right,
and what it means, and what the purpose is, and everything that we've done is getting ready for this. So don't let the game get bigger than what it is,
right,
but just still play our game, because if we play our game, we're hard to beat.
Well, I'm sure Osceola is every bit as good as what they were last year, and I know that the Greyhounds are better than what we were last year, and offensively, defensively, I just think, from an athletic standpoint, I mean, tremendous athletes on both sides of the ball. It'll be a classic high school football game. It's at Osceola at 7 o'clock, folks. We invite you to the football game. Please come.
Please. We
want you there.
It needs to be the game of our decade, I guess, or whatever. But I'm excited, and I hope the kids are, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Congratulations on your big victory tonight against Piggott. We're 1-0 this week, and it's on the road this coming week to Osceola. And until then, Coach,
that's it.
Good luck to you, and go Hounds.